Hey everybody, we'll just get right into it today. This is another episode of Does It VNC on Coffee with Cigarettes, Coffee and Cigarettes with the Aquawizard Band. This is Aquawizard Band. This is Aquawizard.band, and I will be talking about whether this operating system works on VNC, and as we can see here, sure seems like it does. So this is Mac OSX. That's not a big deal, but it's version 10.6.8, which is kind of a big deal. Let's check out what all's going on here. It's a MacBook. It's got processors. You know, it's got like one, but there's two cores. I don't even know what that... Does that mean there's two processors? But it says there's one. But it's got a whopping 2 gigabytes. Dang. Memory. Yeah, so this is the laptop that I used starting in around like 2008 or so. Did a lot of audio recording with it. It's kind of the reason why I got a MacBook, because they were like, hey, MacBooks do audio stuff. And I'm like, okay, sounds good. So, yeah, so we just thought I would check this out. Unfortunately, this isn't really a fully stacked operating system like other operating systems we've checked out in the past, meaning that the applications that are available for this are not... I don't have as many applications installed, is what I'm trying to say. So, but I noticed there were some interesting ones that I either never noticed before or just never used, but a lot of the stuff in here is like, it's pretty much the standard, Mac stuff. If you're not familiar with Mac, this might come as a, kind of something new, but I don't really know who isn't familiar. I don't know. If you're not really interested in Mac, you're probably like, who cares about this? But yeah, you got your classic automator. You got your address book. But some unique applications that I have on here. This isn't really that unique, but it's something that people use once in a while, I guess. I really kind of cleared out this laptop, I don't know, a while back. Did a fresh install on stuff. So I don't have all the applications I had back in the day, but I was able to get some software up and running. That's, beyond just the normal stuff. So, but first, I think one thing I thought was really interesting, like I just don't remember anything like this back in the day, but they have this app called Podcast Capture. And I opened it up and I'm like, I really don't remember anything like this. It's just strange because like I, work in audio world, and I was even studying, I guess I was studying more music audio at the time, not podcast audio. But yeah, we got Podcast Capture on here. Podcast Capture 2, in fact. And I was trying to get a feel for what it is, but I can't really use it because you need to connect to a podcast producer server for processing. And so I was like, whatever, let me check it out. But then I couldn't really, like, I don't have a server to connect to or anything like that. And it's like, hey, buddy, server, dude. But yeah, just kind of poking around here, I did notice you could set some settings. So this is a good moment for me to maybe explain what all's going on here. Video source, is it even gonna show anything? But yeah, this laptop doesn't have like a screen anymore. So luckily I was able to hook it up to an external display and configure it for VNC, and The reason this pops up while I'm talking about podcast capture is because apparently in this podcast capture app, you could do video in addition to audio. And the camera, I guess I have it just tilted down or something, but the camera is like, that still works, but without having a screen, it was kind of a challenge to get this thing up and running to begin with. But yeah, anyway, podcast capture, something that was kind of weird. And I just, it's like, I had never, ever, transfers, I'm not really sure. I don't know, I guess you record a podcast while connected to a server, and then I don't really know what you're supposed to do with this, but anyway. Quit. So yeah, there's that. And you might, as I was kind of like alluding to, you know, a moment ago, how is the VNC working, or, you know, how is this remote desktop thing working? And it's just the built-in, like this is the built-in, whatever they call it, desktop sharing or screen sharing. So it works pretty, it VNCs, there you go. It's a pretty good VNC experience. It's very Apple-y in that, like, the meta control, there's really not much you can do. You can switch to non-interactive mode, where I can just like watch the computer and I can't do anything. Or you can interact with it, and that's basically it. That's the only real settings that they give you. You know, maybe enable clipboard. They got some file transfer stuff in here. So yeah, pretty good VNC experience. They make it pretty easy. And I don't know, is it an old version of VNC? A new? I have no clue. I don't really want to know. Because it's not like I leave this thing on all the time. So, but yeah, some other interesting things going on here. Really, the only thing that's significantly interesting is the audio stuff that I used with it. So let's check out first the audio hardware. And as we can see here, we already have little moving meters in the hardware, because I've kind of, obviously I sort of prepped this. But yeah, it definitely works, which is actually kind of a surprise. I was not expecting this thing to work at all. But yeah, after some noodling around with it, yeah, it totally works. Headphones are freaking loud on it. Plugged into those, I was like, I gotta turn that down like 30. But yeah, this is the little controller for the hardware, the external hardware. It has like, let's see, pretty good amount of analog input. It's like 2 preamps, and I'm just plugged into the line inputs here. Oh my god, I'm so sorry about that. That really hurt my ears. I was like, I wonder if there is a way to hear some feedback, and now I'm just like, why did I do that? Why did I think that was a good idea? Because I have it looped through the 2 different systems so that I could listen to it. You know, like that. Oh, that was so dumb to route this back. Okay, sorry about that. Anyway. Now you know what happens if you get feedback between different systems. It does not sound good. But yeah, that's also a very quick and dirty way to test that something's working, I suppose. I don't know. But yeah, this is a little audio interface that hooks up via Firewire. Like I was saying, it has, you know, some inputs. It's got a couple outputs, and so I've got it looped in here, and the specs on it are pretty darn good for what it is. It's, you know, this is sort of like your entry-level unit if you wanted to get into Pro Tools. So I'm kind of burying the lead here, where we've got Pro Tools on here. So I gotta kick that on here. Fire up some old school Pro Tools. Not super old school, but it is version 7. Which is pretty old. Okay, something looks like it's loading, but it's not totally loaded. Oh, because there's like a transparency thing going on. I guess I don't need that. So I guess Pro Tools, when it loads, it just kind of sits here. So, oh, please do not feedback when I turn this on. Kind of got a test session here. Mute that. Get this input here. I guess I'm kind of tilted to the right just a little bit. That means the right input is just a little bit too hot, but I don't really care. It's fine. But yeah, this is old school Pro Tools. Like 2008 Pro Tools. These are the plugins that it came with. They're kind of neat. They're a little confusing if you don't know what you're doing, and I definitely didn't know what I was doing at the time. So there we go. That looks like the meter's supposed to move like that, right? Negative 15 RMS. That's definitely. It's more like a. I don't know if I'm not like negative 24 or something RMS. I don't know what I'm doing. But peak wise, I've got. That looks like it's supposed to do that, right? I'm just peaking around at negative 10, which is almost nothing. Anyway, I'm just goofing around with the audio stuff. The noise meter. So if let's see here. Just my mic level with the gate. I have like some audio processing that I don't know if it sounds good or not. Sorry if it sounds bad. But yeah, the noise sits around negative 70 and I'm peaking around maybe negative 10, so it's doing pretty good. It's a pretty good chunk of audio signal to noise ratio, and it could be better, but I don't really care. Like I said, I already said I'm kind of leaning to the right here. But yeah, that's what this is. This is definitely a thing. Why don't you go ahead and... So here's the editor view of Pro Tools. Why don't I go ahead and record a little bit just for fun? Record arm, ready to roll. And now, Pro Tools 7.4 from around 2008 is recording some audio that I'm sending to it. This is so surreal that this is doing stuff. I don't even know what to say. So I'm just going to stop talking. And thanks for listening to this test. Let me listen back to it. All right, it's ready to go. Oh wait, I can't hear it because it's muted in Pro. Forgot to turn that off. Okay, now. And now, Pro Tools 7.4 from around 2008 is recording some audio that I'm sending to it. This is so surreal that this is indeed very surreal. Sorry about all the feedback again, and if I guess I'm listening back to the audio and I'm like, yeah, I definitely have it processed. It's definitely a processed sound. It's not a clean sound. It's okay. Sounds cool, maybe. I don't know. It also gets rid of some of the noise. You can kind of hear it whooshing in if you have it turned up, but whatever. So that's the test session. Let's check out some. I actually had this set up a few months ago. I was really surprised to find out it was working. So I recorded this little thing. I'm just going to go ahead and play it. Dear love of God, that was way too loud. That's automation. Stop clipping. Stop clipping. Okay, I apologize about that because I did not test my levels coming back from the thing to here, so that might have been a little too hot. fading that out. Well, I'll just put it in the background. There. How about that? So anyway, yeah, I was just kind of goofing around with like, hey, I can plug my guitar directly in, and I can goof around with the effects, and yeah, it doesn't sound too bad. Let me turn this on. Okay, this will stay put. But yeah, oh my gosh. What a throwback, this old thing. I guess it's still in Pro Tools, so it's not exactly like, whoa, I haven't seen this in years, but I don't know. This is one of the compressors that comes with it. This is like the default compressor guy, and I don't know, I was just goofing around with things, so. The phase scope. Press play again, there we go. Oh yeah, the phase scope looks pretty cool on this, because it's a little bit slow and glitchy loading, but you know, it's kind of fun. I like the vintage colors. They're very simple, you know, just cyan or magenta. The old school meters look pretty good over VNC, not gonna lie. Like, this is actually pretty functional, which is surprising. But yeah, just all the stock Pro Tools plugins, they just look very, you know, everything had that look to it. And then it got redesigned. But yeah, just kind of this minimalist looking look that matched the physical boards that they had, that Pro Tools had back in the day. I'm not going to say that they looked good, I'm just saying they existed. So yeah, that's pretty neat. Let me close out this. No, I'm not going to say that. So this is a request, not a request, but this is, I knew as soon as I had this up and running, I needed to load up something I actually worked on back in the day as like could I actually use this to like remix my old recordings? And yes, I can. All of the effects, because I'll just be honest, I didn't have legit effects back then. Don't have any of those anymore, but I thought this was a treat. So I'm just gonna play this without much explanation at all.
Time. Many a song has been written about time. Hundreds of songs, in fact.
Level might be a little low.
Sure, it's not a lot, percentage-wise, but in pure numbers, it is. Here are all the bands who have written songs called Time. Alan Parsons Project, Anastasia, Anthrax, Ben Folds, Benny Benassi, Blind Melon, Cat Stevens, Chantel.
I did use this plugin.
David Bowie, David Guetta, Dennis Wilson, Freddie Mercury, Halloween.
Okay, I'm gonna stop. Wait, no, I'll keep playing. Keep playing.
Marion, Megadeth. Time is all I need more time to figure out how in the world we came up with this song.
Okay. Let me skip it. I'm just gonna skip ahead a little bit here.
Is all I need more time to figure out how in the world we came up with this song. Time is all I need more time to figure out.
Okay, I'm gonna install those here. Oh, that doesn't work.
I need more time to figure out how in the world we came up with this song.
Oh my gosh, that's so silly. Move this thing. Oh, how does this freaking work, man? I don't know. This thing.
Figure out how in the world
There we go.
came up with this song. Time is all I need more time to figure out how in the world
Oh my gosh.
came up with this song.
Yeah, okay, I got it at like a decent level now. One more time.
To figure out how in the world we came up with this song. Time is all I need more time to figure out how in the world we came up with this song.
So that's I can't remember the Pro Tools thing you're supposed to do to group those, but anyway, so that exists still, and So there's definitely a lot of potential for the Aqua Wizard band to remix some of this stuff. So I guess to give it some context now that we've experienced this, look at this clock. Ugh, why does it have that's... What? Why did I have so many... That's weird. Let's just not. No. I don't even know how solos are working here. Like, there we go. Bass works. Baz. You know, you just like type out a name real fast. That's what I'm gonna say about that. Not gonna defend it though. That's nasty. Anyway, just there you go. Pro Tools 7 and yeah. Just, it was a treat to find Tristan and his audio there. There's really not anything else that is of note, unless you're a particularly, you know, big audio nerd. This particular version of Pro Tools, not really noteworthy. Like, they did some cool new stuff in here, but I didn't really know what Pro Tools was like before version 7, I guess, so... it works. It doesn't have, like, version 8 was a pretty big jump up. They added just a bunch of stuff. So, like, for example, I'm not even sure if I have any, like, it doesn't even really come with any instruments or anything. I guess it does come with just the click. If you wanted, I think you could install some free plugins, but yeah, the built-in Pro Tools thing, or just like the stock Pro Tools, it was like the entry-level Pro Tools at the time, so, you know, you weren't quite ready for the, you know, DigiDesign, whatever they called those, the 003 rack, you know, because those were kind of more expensive, more starting to get into the professional range, but this was definitely like prosumer, you know, gigging musician type thing. Kind of what Pro Tools empowered. Okay, so this was kind of a very strange situation where Pro Tools was very particular about the hardware that worked with it at the time. You cannot use the built-in audio drivers. You can't use built-in audio with Pro Tools version 7 and prior. I think eventually you could, like in Pro Tools 8, I think was maybe the first one. I don't remember exactly. But yeah, that was such bullshit. Just gonna throw that out there. Yeah, you had to use the hardware. You could only use DigiDesign hardware or specific vendors, and M Audio was one of the specific vendors, and they made an entire version of Pro Tools specifically for that hardware, and it was the Pro Tools Empowered, and it's just how it was, you know. All these people worked on this. But yeah, DigiDesign now, Pro Tools is owned by Avid now instead, and that's when things really started to get really weird. So yeah, I only really use Pro Tools if I need to use Pro Tools. Like, oh yeah, everybody's using Pro Tools on this project or whatever. Or this is, you know, this whole thing was done this way. You know, the studio uses Pro Tools, that's fine. But they even had DigiDelivery back then. So they were trying to do like the networked, you know, shared audio thing. But it just didn't really, like the podcast recorder deal that came with this. Like I never noticed that from back in the day. Never used it. And apparently I have to have like some special server connection that I'm not cool enough to have that connection. But anyway, I think that was pretty much all in terms of the Pro Tools stuff. I'm not going to talk about iLok. That is a nightmare, but my iLok still works, so thank God. I think the notable thing about Apple computers is that they never really come with anything fun. Not anymore. Or maybe, you know, it's just chess, really? You ever played chess? That's the fun game you include with your computer. But I will grant it that it does have a pretty cool grapher app that it comes with. You can do a 3D graph, you know, 3D. And just, this doesn't look right. Z equals X squared plus Y squared. See what that does. I don't see anything. I really feel like I screwed up this chart like right away. View. Yeah, let's start over. I'm gonna copy this. New frame. Why doesn't this update? What's happening? I am confused. Okay, well, I thought the Grapher thing was cool, and apparently I have a corrupted version of Grapher. It won't load the 3D version, the 3D renderer. I don't know. Maybe because VNSea is goofing up with it. I don't know. But yeah. There's nothing else to mention here. Nope. It's a computer that does computer stuff. You got appearance. It can be blue or gray, and you can have some green if you want. Where even is the green? There's the green. Red. That's too red. Green's a little more chill. Okay. I guess at the time this was really cool, and now it's just annoying. Wait, screensaver, hot corners, where you could show the dashboard. Ta-da! And they have a calculator. 9 divided by 0. Oh, okay. Weather app doesn't work anymore. Yeah, I'm in Atlanta, why not? So I'm definitely going to turn that off. But I thought this was kind of cool at the time. I was like, wow, I've never seen anything like that before. Pretty generic desktops. It's like the built-in one. This looks like the desktops I had on the iMac. Link to the playlist in the description. Just don't forget to subscribe and like. Is that what they say? I don't know. But yeah, I'm sure there's cooler stuff in here. I just don't really feel like goofing around with it. And I think that is going to do it for our time this week. I guess one thing that was kind of cool is that the AFP stuff works fine. So if you saw a past episode where I showed off an iMac and Raspberry Pi and stuff, it's cool. If you really need to do things, you can use bash in the terminal bash guy, whatever it's called. And it's apparently had a VirtualBox on here. Let's check that out. Where are things on here? How do I get to stuff that's my... oh, it's right in front of me. I don't have... do I have VirtualBox on here? No, I don't. So, yeah, this doesn't look like it's big enough to be a real thing. I think it's kind of just some settings, but I may have been goofing around with... I'm trying to run a radio station virtual machine on here. That was kind of a dumb idea. But yeah, I think that's about it. So, anyway, thanks for hanging out and watching. We'll have more exciting times soon, maybe. Aquawizard.band. Thanks, bye.